Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? It is Well Red Beard, and it is a damn fine day to talk about a book. And today we are here to talk about a classic. We're going to talk about Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. It says pain and suffering are always inevitable for a large intelligence and a deep heart. The really great men must, I think, have great sadness on earth. Fyodor Dostoevsky. Um, you know, I didn't like this book, and I could come here and lie and say, "Oh, I liked it. Oh, it's a classic. Oh, it's must read. Oh, it's um this or it's that." And for me, I just didn't love it. Now, what I will say is, Crime and Punishment. I kind of read like a brief, not synopsis, but again, my idea going into this book was crime up front, uh, punishment at the back half of the book, i.e., jail time. I knew that our character was going to go to do hard labor in Siberia, and everything hinted at redemption, hinted at, you know, uh, I guess I was looking for, again, at a minimum, 50% of the story being about that hard labor and that internal dialogue and actually real change, right? Like real reflection, real redemption, maybe, or at least a chance at it. So I'm going to read you, because there's no synopsis on this book, I'm going to quickly read you the Goodreads synopsis. It's actually short. Raskolnikov, that's our main character, a destitute and desperate former student, wanders through the slums of St. Petersburg and commits a random murder without remorse or regret. He imagines himself to be a great man, a Napoleon, acting for a higher purpose beyond conventional moral law. But as he embarks on a dangerous game of cat and mouse with a suspicious police investigator, Raskolnikov is pursued by the growing voice of his conscience and finds the noose of his own guilt tightening around his neck. Only Sonia, a downtrodden sex worker, can offer the chance at redemption. So yeah, this book was written in 1866. It was actually first published January 1st of 1866. So I mean, you heard it. I mean, he thinks he's, I mean, worthy. He thinks he's, I don't know, because he thinks he has some level of intelligence that he's okay in what he did. So again, you can look at the cover of this book. This cover has got some, if you know nothing about it, it's got some spoilerish information here that I can use here. So, um, he commits a murder. It says that it wasn't random. They say it's random. I mean, he killed a pawnbroker. He had pawned a couple different items with this pawnbroker, his father's watch and another item. And so he had observed the situation there. He knew that she had trinkets and money there, and he goes to purposefully kill her. And again, cover the book spoiler. It's brutal. It is a brutal fucking murder. And again, for a horror reader, I can't, I was like, wow, why didn't you tell me that this classic book that, it's always been on my maybe to read list, was about an axe murder, But again, I read a lot of horror. But then after that, I mean, so that happens in the first book. This thing is, I mean, loosely broke up into like six, not chapters, six sections. Like there are chapters within the sections, but might be more than that. But six. And so this all happens like in section one, and then we spend the rest of the time, like I said, just a lot of conversation, a lot of, again, walking around the slums of St. Petersburg. Now, St. Petersburg, Russia, in 1860s is a bleak, poverty, crime-ridden place. Um, but yeah, I mean, after that, like after the build-up and the actual murder, I mean, I was in. I would tell you, I was bought in. I was like, wow. honestly, like I didn't realize this was from the like I always thought this was from the late 1800s. But then when I got into it and I started listening, I was like, you know what? I mean, I don't know shit about Russian literature. I don't know shit about Dostoevsky or when he was writing, but this feels more modern. Like it feels like maybe this was written like in the 1930s or 1940s, and that was not the case. But after that murder, after the build up in that part, I just slowly lost it. Like slowly um lost the narrative and really slowly kind of just lost caring about it. But again, I'm going through section 2, section 3, section. I'm like, okay, so eventually he's going to this hard labor in Siberia that I've heard about it, and no, that it's again his punishment. I mean, he is facing a punishment at the end of this book. He's facing time. Like I think it says 7 years, which feels pretty light for what he did. But his real punishment is his conscience. And again, just the fact that he thinks he's this Napoleonic figure, which look, again, here we are. I know shit about shit. I don't know shit about shit. I mean, I know who Napoleon is, and I know that he thought he was, this superhero, so to speak, or whatever. But I mean, so I guess I do know what it means. I was getting ready to tell you I don't know what it means. But anyway, the fact that that's who he is and the fact that he almost thinks he's justified, like you don't like this character. Like you don't I don't care for Raskolnikov. But yeah, so and then like in the sloggy parts, what I will say is that I don't know if it's a translation or if it's Dostoevsky, but the book is like repetitive in a comedic way. Like it will say it will say a sentence and then it will like repeat what it just said twice, like in the next two sentences. Like I did not highlight a particular one, but I just caught it multiple times, like a lot. And I mean, for example, if I was to say, a well-read beard is going to give a shitty review of Crime and Punishment, shitty. The review was shitty. I mean, it does things like that throughout the text. And yes, I listened to this in audio. So, yes, maybe those things, hitting my ears instead of my eyes, maybe they felt different. But another thing like that is like the author vocalizes laughter or verbalizes laughter or puts laughter on the page. But again, in audio, like I cannot tell you how many times like you hear he, he, ha ha ha, he. And so again, maybe if I was reading with my eyes, those things wouldn't have mattered, but I don't know, something about it came off as definitely noticeable, definitely mentionable. Yeah. So I just didn't love it. I gave it 2 stars. I mean, I thought about 3. But mostly, to be honest with you, I thought about 3 because I didn't want to feel like a jackass rating this well-loved classic that low. And so I went back to 2 because I just didn't love it. I didn't enjoy it. And again, I'm delving into, I guess, what you would call hard literature. I mean, this book wasn't hard. I mean, this book wasn't Infinite fucking Jest, which I've still only read like 130 pages of. I mean, it wasn't hard. Like I said, it felt actually even more modern than it was. But it just didn't do it for me, and like, I wanted to say it was the time period, or maybe it's again, the Russian literature aspect, the translation aspect, but it's definitely not the time period because I mean, I loved, Frankenstein. And the funny thing is, and I know these are 2 completely different books, but like immediately after finishing this, it was the tail end of April, and I still didn't have new credits on my Audible and Everand accounts, and so I immediately went into Tom Sawyer, which is written at a similar time period. I mean, late 1800s, and I had no problem, of course, following that one. But again, I mean, I guess kind of almost a children's book. So I don't know. I just didn't Love this. The first section was good. The build up, the murder was very very violent and descriptive. And then it just slogged for me through, through the slummy streets of St. Petersburg and Raskolnikov's conscience. So that's just the truth. So this is Crime and Punishment, Fyodor Dostoevsky. I mean, I'm glad I've read it. I'm glad it's in my toolkit, so to speak. Now I'm glad I can, now take this beautiful copy that I picked up and put it on my shelves because I've actually read it. But I felt kind of the same way about War and Peace when I read that one, which again, that was over 15 years ago. But I mean, I felt like I started off good. Like I started off enjoying it, like kind of excited about the idea of reading this well thought of book. And then I got to a point where it was a chore. It was like, um, like the first mile of the marathon was enjoyable, but then the rest of it was just trying to get through it. So I felt a little bit of this here. Of course, this is a much shorter book than War and Peace, but yeah. So I just didn't love it. I gave it 2 stars, and we'll move on with our lives, and that's it. But this has been well read. This has been my review of the classic, though very very well thought of. I think this has got a 4.2 rating on Goodreads. People love this book. Now who am I to question that? But anyway, Crime and Punishment, Fyodor Dostoevsky. Appreciate you being here. Hope you're enjoying all your books, all of them as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.